the most unknown guy to enter the Oval Office in American history. 3 years later, well into his presidency, he remains a mystery.
Now, I disagree with that. And I know where he's coming from. Now, the audience he's speaking to, yeah, he's correct in saying that Obama remains a mystery. That is to most every American, and people across the globe for that matter. But he's not a mystery to you and I that know what's going on. He's not a mystery. He's a puppet that was put in and put in place to do whatsoever the people that pull the strings tell him to do. And now that being said, before we go any further, okay, if you had a so-called America that was based on your so-called Constitution you hold so dearly and love and believe in, that I used to until I woke up about it as well, okay, would not that it would be that that your Congress would have already done something to Obama? Would not it be that that you, the people, would have had your redress of grievances already taken place? Would it not be that the tree of liberty would have already been being refreshed at this date, this time, this moment, with the blood of tyrants and patriots? If the document is what people say it is, then but it's not, okay, because it's merely written paper and parchment and ink that makes people feel good and get a tingle up their leg, like Chris Matthews did about Obama. So it is with a lot of patriots. They just get a tingle up their legs, and they wave the flag of liberty and everything else. But at the same time, we know who Obama is and what he is about. Okay. Now, those of us biblically know him as an antichrist. Okay, or in place of, and the mainstream knows him as the Messiah that was going to, make the oceans where they would recede, the glaciers would grow back up at Glacier National Park, the polar bears would be so freaking cold and everything that they would need an extra coat on in the winter. He was going to fix all that, and a group of dumb sheeple went along with it, okay? Now, they didn't elect him in. They just gathered around him when the Illuminati put him in on election day. You understand? Okay? Now, that being said, you and I know what he is about, who he is about, and what he is. He is born in Kenya. He is literally, if you want to get biblical about it, he has the attributes and totes the attributes of the Antichrist. I'm not saying he is the Antichrist, but he totes the attributes of it. He does not regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women. We know beyond a shadow of a doubt at Jeremiah Wright's church, the black guy that he was having an affair with, him and Obama, the black guy winds up dead. We know beyond a shadow of a doubt that Mr. Larry Sinclair come out and talking about snorting some coke and having sex with Obama. I mean, the list goes on. And that means, nor the desire of women. Would not regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women. Now, having said that, we know that the God of his fathers is Allah. We know that he was a Muslim. He most probably still is a Muslim, although he don't regard Allah. Okay, you understand? He don't regard Allah as being his God publicly. Now, I'm not saying he is the Antichrist, but I am saying that, put it to you like this. Every person that is controlled by Satan, they kill, steal, and they destroy. Now, let's let the gentleman continue.
If you look at his own past, there are all kinds of black holes in Obama's background. Who were his friends at Columbia? Whom did he room with? Whom did he eat with? What were his grades? What was his GPA? In one of his books, he talks about living with the girl for quite a long period of time. No woman has ever come forward and said, I am that woman. No journalist has ever reported her name. So there's a lot of personal mystery around Obama. But more than that, there is ideological mystery. And by that I mean it's still unclear, almost at the end of Obama's first term, what his compass is, what's really driving this guy. And we see this because we hear radically different descriptions of Obama. from the left, he's the Messiah. He's the first African American president. He's the realization of Martin Luther King's ideal.
Which, to be plain with you about it, he is not an African American. Okay, now that's fact of business. Okay, let's break it down a little bit. He is not African American, and I'm gonna run something else by you. He is not a Martin Luther King in the sense that, see, Martin Luther King was truly a African person. Okay, Obama's not an African person at all. Obama is a Kenyan. Okay, and let me say this in a way that I don't be misunderstood. Obama's actually, biblically, the word calls him a mongrel. Okay, in other words, he is a mixture. He is a mixture. So therefore, for anybody to say that he is the first African American president is in and of itself not only a half truth. People talk about half truth. It's a outright lie, because he is not an African American. That's the bottom line. Let's listen.
As conservatives, we often hear he's a socialist. He's a Manchurian candidate. He's a secret Muslim. Now, interestingly, these javelins which have been thrown at Obama have grazed him, but haven't really hit him squarely. Why? Because I think there's something about Obama that remains unexplained.
Okay, I've not listened any further on this, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tell you that that no political ad will ever, nor has ever, bothered Obama. See, political ads and millions of dollars and big buses and campaigns, they don't change anything in terms of the candidate that the Illuminati chooses to put in. They spend millions and millions and millions of dollars. The money's funneled back to the bigger guys, and guess who makes it? Guess what? Listen to me. Mainstream media gets paid for the ads they play. So who gets the money? Oh yeah, it goes back. Mainstream media is simply other puppets of the Illuminati. But wait. We have a democracy in America. Oh wait, I thought it was a republic. So nobody can make their mind up what it is. I'll tell you what it is. It's a stinking hellhole is what it's become. And when sooner people wake up and realize it, the better off we're going to be in terms of survival. Let's go ahead and listen to the guy.
He's clearly not a traditional Democrat. He's not like Clinton or Kerry or Dukakis or even the hapless Jimmy Carter. We might disagree with those guys, but we kind of got them. We knew where they were coming from.
That's not true either. He said they kind of knew where they were coming from. And I'm not disrespecting Mr. Dinesh, period. I'm not disrespecting him. He knows what he knows, and I got to give him credit for what he does know, okay? And let me reiterate and say that what he knows is what he knows, but he don't have the understanding that you look deeper than a man from Arkansas that's got a sexual addiction named Bill Clinton, and you got to look deeper in knowing and understanding that these presidents have been groomed and they are put there. Okay, you understand me? They are not elected. You got people. Listen, you got people on both parties that'll say, that'll say voter fraud, voter fraud, voter fraud. You got all, people want to whine, fuss, gripe, and complain about it, but at the same time, their minds cannot get beyond the fact that what they're saying is way more true than they believe. It's deeper than some hanging Chad. Okay, it is literally fixed. Ever since the computer age, it is literally fixed up, made up. And if you think somebody's over there counting them things, licking their thumbs like a granny at a post office or a librarian to make sure the books have the cards in them, you're sadly mistaken. They fixed the numbers, ladies and gentlemen. Just like the QE1, QE2, and QE3 coming up, quantitative easing, they fixed the numbers, okay? And they fix it to where, guess what? The elite and the rich survive and are bailed out, and you are left holding the bag in this hellhole called America. And let me explain myself when I say this hellhole called America. It is not a free place. If you were free, before I go any further, let me get on a rant. With Mr. Dinesh, before I go any further, let me get on a rant for a minute, okay? How many of you, if you had the freedom, the liberty, and choice, would write that check to the IRS on April the 15th, or this time I think it was the 17th? How many of you would do it if you had freedom? How many of you continue to buy a stinking sticker to go on a license plate for your vehicle and pay that tax every year after you done bought and paid for your car, and you bought the tag the one time? How many of you, if you had the liberty and freedom, would continue to buy that stinking sticker? Huh? How many of you would continue to renew your license to drive and pay that tax if you had liberty and freedom? How many of you would continue, listen to this, to continue to buy your tax to go fishing, to buy your tax to go hunting, and the list don't never end? Why do I need to continue to rant if America is so free, or has been in the past? Let me move on. And I'm not beating up on the people that are awake in America. Okay? I'm telling you right now, and I said it the other day, I'll say it again, hell's coming. Hell's coming. Okay? And where your heart is, there your treasure will be also. And if your heart is to thinking that somehow or another to wave Old Glory, you know, which is in and of itself, I would say, well, let me be kind here. It is a literal term of homage and worship to stars and stripes and some cloth on a pole, an astral pole. But let me move on. And I don't hate the American people, period. Okay, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if I hated them, because I wouldn't worry about it, and the microphone would be off, and the computer would be off, and I'd be out there doing something else with the kids. So don't misunderstand what I'm saying. It's just that some people have made out everything on this earth to be their God, other than the Creator.
With Obama, you have a guy who doesn't want the bust of Winston Churchill around him in the Oval Office. You want a guy who wants to remake the space agency into an international outreach agency for Muslims. You want a guy who's blocking oil drilling in America while he subsidizes oil drilling in Brazil and Colombia and encourages it in Mexico.
Yeah, he's exactly right on that. And they, the people, okay, in order to form a more perfect union, sit back and allow it. They, your representatives that you so-called elected to represent you, sit back and allow it to happen. These list of things that he is bringing about are actually factual and true, and nobody wants to do anything about it except try to guess what? We're going to vote him out, Billy. You need to quit all that. We're going to vote him out, Billy. I know what I'm talking about. I'm a true patriot. And the fact of the business is, you ain't voting nothing out.
You've got a guy who looks at uprisings in multiple Muslim countries, from Tunisia to Bahrain to Egypt and Libya. He uses force in Libya, but refuses to use force in Syria. Now, when America decided to use force in Libya, Gaddafi had killed a couple of hundred people. In Syria, several thousand people have been massacred, but no action. Obama intervenes with the military to get rid of Mubarak in Egypt. But when there were massive uprisings in Iran, and an opportunity perhaps to overthrow the most anti-American government in recent history, Obama abstains.
I'm going to tell you why. Listen to me. Listen to me. As I told you, Satan controls the Illuminati. The Illuminati controls Barack Hussein Obama. And the Illuminati controls Congress and the Senate. You understand me? You hear me clearly? Okay? You don't have freedom lovers in your Congress. You don't have freedom lovers in your Senate. Okay? Now, that being said, this guy, Mr. Dinesh, is talking about he went into Libya. Okay? But he ain't overthrown Syria, and he ain't overthrown Iran yet. Okay? Now, if you understand what's going on here, is although Satan, although the Illuminati, although Obama, although your Senate and Congress think that they have everything under control and they will win, the thing they've not realized is the understanding that yes, evil is here, evil is rampant, but guess what? There's one who controls the universe, that created it,